If you look at a town as simply arithmetic, 4,000 inhabitants isn't many. 4,000 not counting the university. But all the lives in even a small town are too many to set down in a novel. So a writer overlays one life with another till they become a meaning, many meanings. As a writer gives timeless life to a few of the few, so does history choose a few of the few for what they've accomplished. Here in Oxford, Lafayette County, Mississippi, we have a citizen who refers to himself as a farmer who also writes. This is William Faulkner of Oxford, Mississippi. His family is Old South, and he's never been gone from Lafayette County for long. Yet the name of William Faulkner has spread throughout the world as one of the greatest American writers of fiction today. His friends are the friends of his boyhood. Phil Moon Mullins, Mac Reed, Phil Stone, Ike Roberts. And what he writes about, he has always known, because it has been a part of his life.
Mr. Bill, step here. I can't leave the mule, please, sir.
What's on your mind, Renzi?
Is it so folks all over the country read these books you write, those homemade books, and pay you big money for them?
Sure is.
But if you ain't careful, your name is going to be known further than your face.
Oh, well, when that happens, I'll just send them back here to get a recommend from you.
That'll
That
be
all right?
good.
Until after the honeysuckle got all mixed up in it, the whole thing came to symbolize night and unrest. I seemed to be lying neither asleep nor awake, looking down a long corridor of gray half-light where all stable things had become shadowy, paradoxical. All I had done, shadows.
On November 10th, 1950, it was announced from Stockholm that the Nobel Prize for Literature had been awarded to William Faulkner.
Hello. Associated Press from Jackson. Oh, all right. Howdy, Clem. Hey, that's wonderful. Well, I'll do the best I can to get a story about Faulkner. No, Bill's not so curious. He just doesn't care for publicity. Well, I'll get out there and see what I can do, and I'll call you back. Okay.
So you're the one the trouble begins with.
Who did you want it to begin with?
Come here. Look, Phil, I don't see what my private life, the inside of my house, my family, have got to do with my writing and the Nobel Foundation of Sweden.
Now, Bill, I'm not going to argue with you about anything, but all over this world, people are reading what you write. I don't know whether you're all that good or not, but you got the Nobel Prize. And people who read Faulkner would like to know something about William Faulkner. Now, somebody's going to do the story, and I'd like to do it.
All right. Do your story, but no picture.
Well, you let the high school paper make your picture, by golly.
Yes, but my daughter was editor of that paper, by golly.
William Faulkner, to some of his friends, a farmer, a woodsman, a hunter. To the world, a writer. The fourth American to receive the Nobel Prize for Excellence in Literature, the highest honor a writer can hope for, personally presented to William Faulkner by King Gustav Adolf in Stockholm, Sweden. Back in Oxford, the farmer who writes remembered the long years before he was honored or even known 10 miles beyond his hometown. He remembered the friends who believed in him when few did. Phil Stone, a lawyer who was William Faulkner's earliest critic and supporter.
Hey, Paul.
Hello, Bill. How was Sweden?
Cool but pleasant.
meeting have a good time?
He's a fine gentleman, Stone. He even got along with me, and you, if anybody, knows how easy that is.
That's true. Well, mighty proud you finally made it.
Next that we did.
Oh, I just carried water to the elephant. Boone asked me to write a piece for the paper about you. I told him about how our families had been friends for a generation. I came back from New Haven in 1950, and you had this voice. Then you wrote a lot more of it. We had it typed up and sent off. Everybody turned it down. And you wrote Sawdust, which we knew would sell, and it didn't sell. And then Sound and Fury, which was a fine book and didn't sell. Then As I Lay Dying, which was another fine book and didn't sell. Then we got the notion of you going off to England, see if you couldn't get recognition there like Frost and Pound and Eliot did. But that didn't work so well. You came back and wrote Sanctuary, and that put things over. I knew all the time you were a first-rate writer. I knew I was betting on a sure thing, but the trouble was nobody else knew it. Here, take it and read it.
So you're the reason I have to wear a necktie in the middle of the week.
But Mr. Ike Roberts believed in you, too.
As a deer hunter, Mr. Ike is too busy to read books. It's all right, Stone. I don't have to say thank you.
Don't hurry off.
I'm stepping along, yes.
Will you please tell Miss Elaine to come and bring her book? Take that, please, ma'am. Perhaps I shouldn't say this. This I am about to say. Very likely Bill had rather I shouldn't have said what I have already said. And I wouldn't have if Moon Mullen hadn't talked me into it. But Bill and I are getting to be old men now, and perhaps someone who knows should say it. Someone who knows that he is even greater as a man than he is as a writer.
Morning, boys.
Morning, sir.
Gilbert, you're lame this morning. What happened to you?
I helped a fellow move a calf yesterday, and I hurt my hip. He gave me 75 cents for helping him move the calf. I had to spend $1.65 for medicine. I'm gonna get rich if I keep that up.
You sure will, at that rate.
Other people may desert you, but not Bill, if he is your friend.
Hello, Mac.
Why, Bill Faulkner, I'm glad to see you back home. We're so happy about the great honor that's come to you and feel certainly that you've brought great honor to Oxford and Lafayette County. Awfully glad that you're going to keep on living at Oxford.
So am I, Mac. By the way, whatever happened to all those books of mine you loaded yourself up with?
Oh, I'm happy to tell you all of them have been sold, Bill. I understand that they're bringing premium prices now as collector's items.
Funny how things turn out.
People may persecute you and revile you, but this would only bring Bill quickly to your side.
Hello, Bill. How you getting along?
Just fine.
Where have you been?
Sweden?
Had a good trip?
Yes, sir. Nice country. I had to get back in time to go deer hunting, though. We're going to get the big one this time, too.
Which, down there by the bluff.
Yes, sir. Camp been acting 54 years. We ought to get him sooner or later, oughtn't we?
Well, if we don't get him the gun, we will with a stick.
Yeah. I'll tell you how we're going to do it.
All right.
We'll let Lucky and Will Lewis build a corral out of switch cane, and you can whip him to death with a handful of collars.
All right.
A lot of us talk about decency, about honor, about loyalty, about gratitude. Bill doesn't talk about these things. He lives them. If you are his friend and the mob should choose to crucify you, Bill would be there without summons. He would carry your cross up the hill for you.
Morning, Reggie.
Morning,
Tommy. Morning. The ground's soft now, and you can get down there and dig those post holes.
All right.
I've got 5 spools of wire in town. We need 10 spools for it, won't we?
Yes.
Tommy, when's your school start again?
We start next week.
Next week. Well, we have to let Tommy go then.
Yes.
That means loss to me, because he can't pay me for running my tractor anymore. Well, I'll be out tomorrow,
Well, sorry.
and we'll lay that line off and get started.
Well,
Come on, Jim, lay into it.
Yes,
How old
sir.
are you anyway?
I'm 86 years old.
Well, a man 86 years old ought to pull harder than that. Pull harder now.
Yes, sir, I'm pulling all I
it.
can. I'm doing all I can. Yes, sir.
Oh, it's Wallace. How
Hi, TC. Hi, Norma Jean. Say, y'all got a mighty famous speaker for your graduation this year.
You mean Mr. Faulkner?
Sure, I mean Mr. Faulkner. Peace and lunch. But he does
What threatens us today is fear. Not the atom bomb, nor even fear of it. Because if the bomb fell on Oxford tonight, all it could do would be to kill us, which is nothing, since in doing that, it will have robbed itself of its only power over us, which is fear of it, the being afraid of it. Our danger is not that. Our danger is in the forces in the world today which are trying to use man's fear to rob him of his individuality, his soul, trying to reduce him to an unthinking mass by fear and bribery, giving him free food which he has not earned, easy and valueless money which he has not worked for. That is what we must resist if we are to change the world for man's peace and security. It is not men in the mass who can and will save man. It is man himself, created in the image of God, so that he shall have the power and the will to choose right from wrong, and so be able to save himself because he is worth saving. Man, the individual, men and women, who will refuse always to be tricked or frightened or bribed into surrendering not just the right, but the duty too to choose between justice and injustice, courage and cowardice, sacrifice and greed, pity and self, who will believe always not only in the right of man to be free of injustice and rapacity and deception, but the duty and responsibility of man to see that justice and truth and pity and compassion are done. So never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. If you, not just you in this room tonight, but in all the thousands of other rooms like this one about the world today and tomorrow and next week, will do this, not as a class of classes, but as individuals, men and women, you will change the earth. In one generation, all the Napoleons and Hitlers and Caesars and Mussolinis and Stalins and all the other tyrants who want power and aggrandizement, and all the simple politicians and time servers who themselves are merely baffled or ignorant or afraid, who have used or are using or hope to use man's fear and greed for man's enslavement, will have vanished from the face of it.
William Faulkner of Oxford, Lafayette County, Mississippi, a farmer who looks deep into the heart of life and writes what he sees there.